What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing really well, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this episode with you. It's a little bit different because when I get into this episode, this was actually filmed quite a few months ago, and it was when I was kind of documenting some behind the scenes stuff with different income streams, and one of them being property. So I was showcasing the behind the scenes of a couple of properties that I'm involved in, I'm invested in, and we are selling. And I was kind of going through that process. But now we're in the coronavirus period, it's a little bit dated, but it's still very relevant. But I wanted to just give a bit of context in the intro here so you can enjoy that. And the current stage that we're at the moment, at the time of me going through it, we had one sold and we had one that was kind of going through, but that fell through. We then got another sale and that fell through again. And we're now in a stage where, of course, you know, some banks, they're not lending, etc. It's taking a bit of time. So it is what it is. We've still got it there. The area is in high demand for bungalows, which you'll see. So again, we've got that on our side, and I'm very confident that it will go smoothly in the end. But I wanted to give a bit of context because, you know, not everything will always go, you know, exactly how you want it. And that's the thing in life. When you're building different income streams, you have to understand, you know, sometimes things are going to go well, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you'll open a business, it won't do great, and then you learn from it. As long as you're taking feedback and you're taking lessons from it and you don't get overly emotional from expectations, you can move forward. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of insight. And of course, if you do like this style of videos, we just get into it, let me know and I can do more behind the scenes once things go back to normal. But again, hope everybody's healthy, hope everybody is safe. And unfortunately, I got hit with the coronavirus. I'm feeling much better now, back to full steam. This is probably actually the first day in the last, you know, couple of weeks that I feel 100%. So I'm feeling really good, more clarity, more focused than ever, and excited to share a lot more behind the scenes for you guys and girls, with just more of an insight into my life as well. But I'll do a full video because I've had a lot of requests on how I kind of dealt with the emotions of that, what the kind of symptoms were. So I'll do, if you want to know more about that, then I'll do a full video on how, the kind of tips that I went through that helped me stay focused. So guys and girls, enjoy the episode and let me know your number one takeaway from this. So today I'm going to see one of my properties that I've invested in. So recently I put something out on Instagram of what you'd like to see on the personal channel. A lot of things came up, things of property was quite popular, day in your life, all that kind of stuff. This is almost a, I wouldn't say day in the life, but just one segment. I just got a few errands to run first, and then I'm going to be heading to a property. So recently I went up there, I actually put it on Instagram, so some of you were interested the last time I was up there. We've actually sold one, and one of them was sold again. So I had a viewing last time, we actually sold it, but then it fell through. So today I'm going up there, I've just got a few things to check up on, and I'm going to be showcasing and talking about the reality of property. So I want to run you through that because it's not always, you know, incredible. There are things that happen and you need to be aware of these things. Things just like interest that eats into profits, all that kind of stuff, but we'll get into that in a little bit. I'm just going to run a few errands and I'll see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, hope everybody is well. Just wanted to jump on real quick and let you all know that I'm going to be showing some behind the scenes on a YouTube episode of these properties. So I put something out on Instagram recently about starting my own personal YouTube channel. Very excited for that, got a lot of response. It was things like day in the life, more trading based things, and a lot of things on property. So just back at that property that I was here last time that I've shown you already. So the first one is sold. We actually had the viewing last time. This one actually did get sold, but it fell through. So again, this is the reality of property. Things don't always go smooth. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. So I'm gonna actually record a video now. Right guys, so just arrived at the properties. I'm actually gonna show you guys and girls around so you can see everything that's going on. We've got a few things to look at. Also, I want to hit you with some hard truths about property that I think you're going to take a lot of value from. Remember, it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and it's really important to understand the reality of property and what's actually going on. So a rare insight into that. So let's take a look. this is actually a 2/3 bungalow. You can use it for whatever you actually want. So this is the bathroom area, really nice finish. Just a bit of an insight actually into why we chose bungalows instead. After doing due diligence, I think it's really important that you've got to look at the area. You can't just decide, right, it's going to be more profit if I do it this way. So essentially what we've done is we realized that there's a lot of demand in this area, more in the countryside, of bungalows. A lot of people want them. There's not enough of them, so naturally there's more demand, and it's actually worked out more profitable. But let's take a look. So we've got this room here. This can either be used as a bedroom or an office. This is kind of a 2/3 bedroom, if you like. So this potentially could be used for the office area, as you can see. So a slightly smaller bedroom, so completely up to them. And then this is the master bedroom. So this is a little bit larger, but again, it's just all the finishes, even just the doors and things like that. I think it's really important to have the highest spec possible. To, you know, the average eye, you won't notice these little things, but when you put the attention to detail, it really does count. But let's take a look for the rest of the property. So this is really suited for a lot of people that want to downsize. So this is just a bit of storage. And then this is the kitchen area, but we'll go through to a different way. So this goes through to the living room. We haven't got the flooring in on this one just yet, as we want to give people the opportunity to actually choose that flooring. So the person who's bought this one, just making their decisions on the last few little bit of details. And at the end of the day, you want it as bespoke as possible. When you're buying a home, you want those details. So we always leave that part out, as everybody's got a bit of a different taste. So this goes to the garden area. So this is actually quite cool because when you look at it, it's agricultural land right at the back, so you're not allowed to build in it. Very, very unlikely. So there's not going to be houses behind there. And if you want to be in that area, you know, you don't want anyone overlooking you or anything like that. So it's a decent space. You can do a lot with that. There's still so much to do, so you can landscape it nicely and do whatever you please. You can extend the patio. There's still quite a lot there. So again, just up to your imagination. And moving into the kitchen, this is why I really like these doors. So as you slide these doors, it gives it a really nice open space for the kitchen. So as you can see, there's still naturally a little bit of mess and things like that. But again, I wanted to show the raw side of it. So once this is all completely done and finished, this is going to look lovely. And I think in terms of space, I mean, this is a decent space. This is a really, really nice space. And you know, everybody likes different things. For me, I love cooking, so I love big kitchens, and my kitchen's big as well, so that's a key detail for me, but everybody's different. But I really like this area because from this kitchen to the dining room table, so you can either put dining room table in here or some really nice chairs. I really like these windows here. So what we wanted to go with is floor to ceiling windows. So in these sort of areas, a lot of people, they'll put, you know, a couple of windows in here, but with all of this natural light, as you can imagine, if you've got friends over, you're entertaining guests, whatever it may be, a seating area here is lovely. So once all of this is done, this is going to look stunning. And I love the 3 windows here as well. So straight out to the garden, you want a barbecue area, you can leave it up to your imagination. So there's quite a few things. But one thing I did want to talk about is the reality side of property, because what most people don't realize is that it's not always going to be good, and you've got to do your due diligence. So for example, we chose to do 2 bungalows instead of having one big property with lots of land and things like that. And not always the decisions you're going to make are actually going to turn out to be very, very good. So in this situation, it's been quite difficult. So the first one, this one actually sold very, very quickly. The second one's been slightly harder, and it's fallen through twice now. So 2 times it's actually fallen through. On the second one, it was quite further along, and you know, things happen, mortgages, people do silly things, and before you know it, they can't take out the mortgage then. There's all kinds of things that are unforeseen that you can't really control. So it's really, really important to understand that and factor that in. Now, the other side of it is this. So unless you're self-funding a build, if you're borrowing from a bank, for example, so on this one, there's interest attached to it. Now, it comes to a point where you're now paying interest each month. So on this one in particular, it's in the thousands, in the single figures, but it's in the thousands every single month. So you've got to understand that's eating into your profit. So every time that it doesn't sell, you have to factor in things like this. If you've got a property, and let's say you put this up for 450,000, you want that figure. So you want to sell this for 450,000, and then guess what? You're thinking you get an offer for 440. What would you do? What would you think? Would you take the offer? Would you leave it because you want more money for it? So this is where you have to be a bit more entrepreneurial, and you have to actually understand how the game works. The longer you leave it, you have to take into consideration things like this. Is the person in a chain? So how much is that worth to you? So for example, if someone comes to you with an offer and they say, listen, Mark, we love the property, 430. I can give you 430. This is the mortgage I can get. This is the down payment, etc., etc. This is what I can afford. Do you go and leave it on the market from someone who offers you, let's say, the full price of 450, Or do you go with the one with the 430? Well, the one in 450 is in a chain. They've got to sell the house, they've got to wait for a few things to approved. And all the time you're waiting, you're eating into the profit from the interest. So do you see how this is where most people get it wrong? They don't understand how to put a deal together. So if you've got someone who's not in a chain, who's ready to go, maybe doesn't have to put a big mortgage, they can literally put quite a large deposit, that's more valuable to you. So you've got to understand all of these kind of things. And when you start off, that's very, very difficult. So for myself, I'm still learning, I'm still expanding. My brother is the real brains behind this. He's got so many years of experience, done so many developments, and I've had the luxury of learning firsthand at a very early age. So as the years went by, I remember when I was 20, you think, oh, I don't really know too much, but when you're hearing it and you're around it all the time, you realize I actually know quite a lot. So I started to be curious as to, so what do I want to do with my money? So as I started to become more successful, I had the opportunity to start investing. And then rather than just being a typical, silent investor, I wanted to just do a little bit more. So I wanted to, get hands-on, do things. So even things like the viewings, I absolutely love it. You can leave it up to the estate agents and things like that. But truth be told, sometimes when you know the house and you know all these things and you're creative, you have to understand you have an invested interest. So sometimes I absolutely love coming down here and really getting to know who's buying it, because at the end of the day, it's a home. And if you've ever bought your home, you know exactly what I mean. You want to make sure it's right for you, and it's really important to us that when we do these things, it's with that in mind, because at the end of the day, people live here, they've got families. So to be able to engage with them and ask them, so what would you use this for? How would you achieve this? And sometimes there's the flexibility of being able to do certain things. So for example, there may be something in a certain area that someone loves the property, but they're not happy with it. And it's in the earlier stages where things can be changed, if it's a stud wall or anything like that. And then you have the opportunity to say, well, do you know what do you like about the property? And is there anything that you would change? And they might say, well, do you know what? I'd love to change that area there. And if there was an ensuite there, or could you make this slightly wider? If you get in the earlier stages, you can have those conversations. You'll be surprised how many people come to a property, they view it and they go, like it, but no, not too sure about that. But they'll be a little bit shy to ask the questions. That's why you have to understand how to communicate with somebody, understand their needs, more importantly, of what they want to achieve out of it. So I love all parts of it to get really, really hands-on. And again, for those of you that don't know too much about this channel and myself, I am a Forex trader, so I trade in foreign exchange. And definitely go and head over to the Falcon channel if you've not checked that stuff out and you're just coming on here to the first time. And the reason why I love property is from a scalability and sustainability aspect, but more so, you've got to realize when you're making money, if you've got a vehicle where you can make money, you need to know what you're going to do with that. It's not just about stacking the money and constantly compounding. Not everything will return you the same return on investment. So what I mean by this, let's say for example in Forex, and you've made, I don't know, you can make 100% a year, give an example. You may not make that in property. And you would go, well, why would you invest your money in property when you could just trade more money? But you have to understand you need different sources of income, and all successful people know this. So it's not really about matching, oh, well, that would make you more money. It's not really about that. It's really about how do you want your lifestyle to be. I love the fact that, I've got a couple of trades running at the moment, a couple of longer term ones. I'm in USD CAD short as well, so for Forex traders, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I love the flexibility to be able to right, that's taken care of. I've got my management plan. I know what I'm doing. Now I've time blocked this area to come over here, check a few bits, flooring. I've actually got to meet someone in a minute, and then just get amongst it. So I think it's important to be busy. You can't just, if you're thinking about trading and you're more on the trading side, the reality of you being, let's say, a full-time trader sitting by your charts all the time, I personally didn't want to do that because you just go crazy. I've been there and I've done it, and my performance has increased when I've got other things in the go. But it's really important to remember, don't try to do, my biggest advice would be this, don't try and do everything at once. It's cool, you see property and you see things like this, but don't try to be a property developer, Forex trader, YouTube expert, this, that. You've got like 10 different things and you're wondering why you're not getting success. Do something really, really well and then diversify after. So I'm at a really, really good stage here where I'm constantly expanding and growing. So it's at a good point and excited to document this. Guys, so also just a quick mention, it's all in the details. So I just want to take you through a few bits here. So even little details like this. So most of the time you'll see these are just literally white and painted, but it's just having that same worktop here is really, really nice. Really cool from storage. I think it's important when you're thinking about kitchens, decent storage, dishwasher, really, really important. Integrated dishwasher. We also have integrated cupboards here for the washing machine. Really nice appliances, really open. Got the fridge freezer as well, nice and tall. That's a decent space. And again, even just like the handles, the knobs on here and things like that. even when you look at the Fritricia as well, what I really like is just that extra little storage. It's all about maximizing space. And my brother's huge on this kind of stuff. And I mean, this is just one property. I'm really excited to show certain ones. We've done so many things, even on listed buildings as well. So keen to show you more about that. I'm just actually about to head over to the other property because that one's already got flooring in and a few other things, so I'll show you around that. But that is pretty much it for this property. But again, this is the one that's actually sold. So keen to get this one all up to wraps, but there's a lot of things in place as it's not fully finished, but we just wanted to show you more of the raw side of it, and hopefully once it's all finished and done, before the person who's bought it is actually in, we can then come back to the property and view that as well. But I hope you enjoyed that quick tour. Let's take a look at the other property.
I'm running your way, but you push me away. Your lifeline, losing your mind. I'm here for you, babe. I've loved you the same this whole time. So tell me, what's on your mind? And I'm not here to hear you say you're fine. I can take the pain you hold inside. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your grip tonight? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time.
Guys, so this one is actually identical to the last one. This is a little bit more finished, so all of the appliances and things like that, so that's still got a little bit of work to do. But overall, really happy with it. This one's actually got a bit of flooring, and I think that when it comes to doing developments, no matter how big they are or how much experience that you've got, from what I've personally seen and been around, there's always going to be things that come up that you don't realize. So it's going to be really cool to document that as much as possible. And on this channel, we'll be going over so many things. So I want to be documenting, personal growth, goal setting, all these kind of things. When it comes to trading, Forex stuff, of course, that's more so on the Falcon channel as we keep that specific. But on here is going to be so many things that I think that you'll all enjoy. And I would love to know your takeaways on this. What's your number one takeaway on this? What kind of things would you like to see from a property perspective? But it's going to be so cool to document that, show you more, and as this expands and grows, it's going to be cool to share those insights and hopefully just provide value to you guys and girls, for those of you that are maybe thinking about property, give you more of the raw insights and the truths behind it, the difficult side of it, the fun sides of it, the cool sides of it. I think it's going to be an awesome journey. So again, I thank you for joining me on this channel. Really hope that you enjoyed it. Can't wait to share more things behind the scenes. And again, just take you along the journey with me. And as you invest into the channel, it invests back in you, and hopefully just showcasing the areas that you may need help with. If there's anything specific that you would like to see from a property perspective, if I have the experience and I can answer it, then I will. So make sure that you comment, send that in, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Guys and girls, have an incredible day ahead, and I'll speak to you all soon.